To God be the glory in the highest. I greet every one of you in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Our subject of discussion today is the mistake of Abraham ruined Sodom and Gomorrah. The mistake of Abraham ruined Sodom and Gomorrah. In the book of Genesis chapter 18 verses 16 downwards to 20 to 33, God was speaking with Abraham on his mission that he wanted to go and look into the situation of Sodom and Gomorrah so that he can destroy them because of their sin is grievous. And Abraham was supplicating, making supplication before God, telling God that God, can you spare them if you see 50 righteous men at first? God said that if you see 50 righteous men, he will not what? He will not destroy them. He go ahead to say that if there are 45 righteous men, that will God spare them? God said that he will what? He will spare them. And say that, and he still go to what? To 40. That if God should see 40, will God spare them? God said he's going to spare them. And if after that, he went to 30, that if God see 30, will he spare them? He said he will spare them. He also go ahead to make supplication and say that if God find 20, that he will he not destroy them? God said that if he find 20, he will not destroy them. And he also went to 10 and said that will God save them because of the 10 righteous people there? God said yes. And that is where he stopped. Genesis chapter 18 verses 32. And he said, "Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will ask yet this once, peradventure 10 shall be found there." And he said, "I will not destroy it for 10's sake." So what actually affected and bring about the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah is because Abraham said, for this only one time, that God should allow for this last time, that if God see 10, will he not destroy them? And God said that if he see 10, he will not destroy them. So he was unable to go further. But the Bible make it known to us in the book of Jeremiah chapter 5 verses 1. Jeremiah chapter 5 verses 1, I read, "Run ye to and fro from the streets of Jerusalem, and see now, and know, and seek in the broad places thereof, if ye can find a man, if there be any that executed judgment, that seek the truth, and I will pardon it." Now God is now telling us in the book of Jeremiah chapter 5 verses 1 that if he can see a single righteous man, he will pardon Jerusalem. So this is the mistake that Abraham has made. If Abraham has pleaded unto God that even if you can see just a one righteous person, will you spare the city? Sodom and Gomorrah will have been what? Will have been spared and will not be destroyed. That is why when we are praying, we should what? We should be persistent in our prayer, and we should never think that one thing is too low, or we should never think that we can weary God. Some people think that by them requesting some things going low, that God can be weary. God cannot be weary. Isaiah chapter 7 verse 13 tells us, and he said, "Hear ye now, O house of David, is it a small thing for you to weary men? But will ye weary my God also?" Can you see now? We cannot weary God in our requests. Don't forget our subject of discussion today, that the mistake Abraham made contribute to the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. If Abraham has asked God that if only one righteous man can be found there, will God spare Sodom and Gomorrah? God will have spared it. But he stopped at only 10. And in the book of Jeremiah chapter 5 verses 1, we can see that God said that if he can see only a single person in Jerusalem that is righteous, he's going to spare Jerusalem. And this shows us that we should always ask and never give up and never think that we can weary God. So if Abraham has asked for that, God will have spared Sodom and Gomorrah because of Lot. Lot was righteous because of Lot. Even in the book of Ezekiel chapter 16 verses 48, it was said that Sodom, I read, "As I live, saith the Lord, Sodom thy sister has not done, she nor her daughters, as thou hast done. thou and thy daughters. Can you now see that they are now trying? God is now saying that the sin that Jerusalem has committed, the people of Jerusalem has committed, is not like this, is greater than the sin that the people of Sodom and Gomorrah has committed. And this shows us that even in the book of Isaiah chapter 1 verses 10, God called the people of Israelites and Jerusalem Sodom and Gomorrah. So in a nutshell, if Abraham has gone below 10, God will have accepted, because our God is full of multitude. Is full of multitude of mercy. So that is why mistake of Abraham in his prayer contributed to the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, because God said in the book of Jeremiah chapter 5 verses 1 that if he can find a single righteous man in Jerusalem, he's going to spare Jerusalem because of that man. And this shows us that whenever we are making petition unto God, we should not think that we can weary God by asking God some things. We should try to ask God anything, and God is able. God bless you. Try and share it. The message, Jesus only can save.